Alrighty.
Let's go.
Watch on again. Alrighty, do you guys want to give... We got Jay Black joining us now, the fucking god himself. JB's in the house as well.
Hey, by the way, big up for putting Gemini vs. Shocks on your channel.
Why are you spotting him on camera?
Because it's on code red, bro, big man. Shut your mouth, bro.
You spot him on
Let's go. Alright, so Liam, Kruger, Bam. Background of this battle.
First background that I want to really highlight is Charlie Hyam's haircut.
I've never seen
young Elton John out here, bro.
Yeah, young Justin Bieber. Look at him. Howing. Background in this battle, OSHEA is one of the most entertaining people of all time. Pedro is one of the most accidentally entertaining.
Wait.
Yeah.
Should we do it like it's your...
Yeah, okay.
Alright, so...
These two.
OSHEA. Known for his beer drinking and random rambles about rambling for hours and cutting off his rounds by saying, "I'm sorry." Pedro, known for his furious, chaotic freestyle abilities. You cannot foresee what he's already foreseen.
He's reached the aptitude of crackhead influence.
Special powers, MDMA. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Am I lying in saying that OSHEA may have done something early in the battle that led to him being a bit fucked up later in the battle?
Initially,
I heard that he'd like taken some shit. I heard he took TCB or something.
He's done it from now, bro.
I remember him being
look at his eyes there.
in round one.
Let's talk about the freeze frame. Gurning.
Yeah,
he's already done. His jaw is trying to go yard. The rest of him is trying to stay
in round one, and by round 3 he's like a mess.
I just want to see people on drugs doing shit all the time.
Bro, I watch him like, yo, that's goals, man. I'm trying to get out of
Bro, he's just like,
Have you
holds
seen
it
Pedro
together.
before?
No. Oh,
alright.
This
is the best.
Champion of the year, bro.
So you have no idea.
Give him the belt.
Most of it's freestyle. Sometimes he says the best shit on earth. Sometimes it's maybe the worst. But like he says stuff like, "I've got a heart of stone like a garden gnome." That's crazy.
I beat Shawn Michaels for the Raw title, like off the top, like Raggo.
No, my favourite Pedro lines, and I'm not going to say it. We're going to get there.
My favourite one's when he says, "I'm like a cross between a German Shepherd and a Persian Leopard."
Oh my god, bro. Yo, that shit is fire, bro.
Who is?
Because imagine the cross between.
Like, I want to say, like, who could we explain that?
I feel like the thing about Pedro is Pedro embodies, he embodies what the freestyle era was, you know. But it's still modern, like it is.
He has like a hilarity, like someone like Dot has, where you're just like, this guy just said some mad shit, but they're nothing alike. That's the only person I can sort of say.
Imagine Dot on like a load of drugs.
Imagine Dot on like.
It's like every jump-off battle fucking each other at once on acid
with a very long.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Let's get it.
Pedro OSHEA, 6.5.
He's trying to hold himself together already.
Oh, yeah, he was fucked.
Also, this is a classic event.
Yeah, turn it up.
Sorry, I'm saying this was a classic event as well.
This was not a classic event. I think 100 people turned up and it was really
I
embarrassing.
bowed at this event. This was a classic.
Yeah, I bowed at this event. I had my breakout battle at this event.
This was like the 6th birthday, but it was the extra one.
There wasn't that.
It was a banging event. Banging.
We undersold massively.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a 3-round
real
one.
Here he is.
Osh won flip, and he chose their first rounds as well.
Charlie.
Number 1 on Osh. Listen. Pedro. Listen, lad. I smash it with the randomness. Fuck you and fuck unanimous.
It's not even unanimous.
That was so random.
Yes.
Look at his gone space, bro. He doesn't know what's going on, bro.
I smash it with the randomness.
That's it.
And the way he's pointing at man. Oh, this is such a great game.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Today is me up at your door. I tried to raise some money for a sponsored walk. He said to give me a 5. I said no. I want some more.
Look at his jaw, bro. He's
He
fucked.
down me and said, "I've got it for you. The rematching after." I said, "Whoa, Lego? No way." He said, "No, Pedro." I said, "Okay."
O'Shea embodies that self-deprecating humor that you guys are so fucking good at doing. And he sells it so well. That's like one of his biggest strengths.
I've never seen someone so fucking pilled up in my life.
He's so off his face.
I remember him
in his hand though.
No,
that's because he's got a drug.
I remember his third round where he was like a mess. So if he's this bad now, it's gonna get bad.
That's because he doesn't have a drink in hand because he's that fucked.
No, the funniest. Oh no, you know when it pops up, I'm pausing.
This is like that train spotting scene with the baby's head going back.
Jesus.
The rematch after, I said, whoa, Lego, no way. He said, no. Pedro, I said, okay. This is the biggest solo battle you are ever going to have. So no doubt you're feeling it. But the way you're acting online, we call you MC Heskey because you're making a meal of it.
That's fire. That's so fire.
A meal.
He is funny, but he is shit. This fucking London have been in the same square for years. He Ian Beale with it.
So this.
Okay, here we go. Breaking it down.
Right, so who's good with football? Because I don't.
Emil Heskey. So it's like when you say you're like Heskey was saying because you're making a meal of it. Emil Heskey. And then the EastEnders reference, he's like, you're like something.
Ian Beale.
Ian
Beale was a.
What did he say about the square though?
Yeah,
it was a square bar.
I'll break it down.
Okay.
I don't know if the American audience.
I don't think they care about these.
The only American I care about right now is Kyle and J Black.
What about JP?
He's making a meal of it. Don't get me wrong. He is funny, but he is shit. This fucking London have been in the same square for years. He Ian Beale with it.
Yeah, so Ian Beale.
Albert Square.
Ian Beale is set in a square.
It's like
Albert
Square.
Albert Square. So EastEnders has been running for like it's the longest soap opera.
And Ian Beale has been there from the start. Like he was a teenager when it started.
It's all set in the same square.
I'm 30 years old, and he's been there the whole time.
Ian Beale, and he's still there now.
So you get in the same square.
EastEnders is still going. He's still there. I've stopped watching.
Every Christmas someone dies and people are still surprised.
Running the chip shop.
Frustration.
But like, no, it's real though, bro. For the last 30 years, a man has died every Christmas, and people are still like, "Oh my god, someone died on Christmas." They've never been happy ever
Imagine
in their
all
life.
of the shit that's happening.
When he leaves EastEnders,
imagine all the shit that's happening in that square.
He's got no job when he leaves EastEnders in terms of acting capabilities.
Oh yeah, no.
He must be mad that I know his real name.
Bro, Ian Beale is going for it, bro. I see why he's struggling.
Yo, he's shocked. He's even at Broadway, Marks and Spencer's.
He's been living in that square.
Jay, is that your speaker in there? Whose speaker is that? That's in the kitchen. Do you know?
It's not mine, no.
Can we just this?
I think I can plug that in.
This whole EastEnders section is the most fringe reference on any of your videos.
Probably like, what are you fucking?
But I'm sure there's people that don't know.
What's the US equivalent of EastEnders? Like a soap opera that's been running straight away. Like all the way through.
Like even if you don't watch it.
never heard of EastEnders.
No,
Dallas.
I don't think there's anything like EastEnders, to be honest.
They've got soap operas.
What's a soap opera? When I say soap opera, what do you think?
You don't have to watch it, just to.
I don't know the name of it either.
Yeah, he don't even.
I don't think it's big. Like I think because where we had, they had like loads of channels as well. We just had the BBC, the channel 4. We had like 4 channels, 5 channels.
Like Home and Away.
Like back in the day. Like obviously now you've got loads of channels, but I think that made people care about the soaps more. Do you know what I mean? Like
this is so fringe.
This
is the most niche shit we've ever talked about.
Let's go.
Yeah, but if you talk about EastEnders as an American in anywhere that has British people, now you're going to seem cooler, so we've helped you out.
You're right. Right.
Your freeze is sick, but he's a prick, but I would beat him regardless, because he is retarded. It's Pedro, don't trust regular fucking Speedy Gonzales. I'll do the running up in your mum's house and go in the bed. You rap pretty fast with someone that's so fucking slow in the head.
That's fucking perfect.
Speedy Gonzales. I'll do the running up in your mum's house and go in the bed. You rap pretty fast with someone that's so fucking slow in the head. Rowan, that's so fucking slow in the head. Speaking of slow in the head, Rowan, is you smoking bud? Is you joking, bro? P Soldier versus Pedro. Man, I have to slow Pedro's verse down and speak P Soldier.
Yo,
Oh, okay.
Peace Soldier raps hella slow.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is,
but even Peace Soldier's reaction to this bar is slow as fuck. Like, he's like, oh yeah. I get your blood.
In that battle, the Pedro versus Peace Soldier, Pedro said the bar. He was completely freestyling, just going off randomness, and he was like, "Your mum will get punched in her son's lip."
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe said I'll punch you in your mouth, but I don't know where he was going.
Can I just add something?
Your mum will get punched in her son's lip.
Like,
that's wild.
30 seconds before that battle happened, right? He's walking on stage, and I'm like, "Yo, I can't wait for your battle." And he went, "I've wrote nothing." And then he said that, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I swear that it's one of my favorite memories from any event." He just looked at me like, "I've done nothing."
Pedro the God, man.
That's event was so good, man.
You two man had me finger blasted every time one of you two finished. Because Pedro said 600 words in 60 seconds. You said 7 in 2 minutes.
Oh, let's go.
No, well, guess what, Pedro? So did I. You little overhyped Dolomite. I'm like that fucking town wasting crowd. No, that's how the fuck you say it, man. You know I'm nice. My style is pristine for sure. When I shit, I stink of Christine Dior. I'll get up in your mother's motherfucking diaphragm. So many hoes on my dick. I'm like a perverted fucking fireman.
That's the worst.
Keep going.
Hose on my
strapped
dick.
in.
I love you.
Hoes on my dick. I'm like a perverted fucking fireman. I'll jack your shit like I am Iron Man. I'll rob all your shit and make you order me the fucking higher van.
He's off his face,
he's losing it.
To the frying pan. Like, man, I got so damn ham, you would think I was a giant ham.
Listen, that's fire.
Fucking incredible.
There's a thing though as well that when you're trying to like write punchlines.
When you try a lemon for the first time.
If that's not the thumbnail for this episode, I don't know what it is.
There's a thing that when you're writing punchlines, you try to say the words, but you try to not use the same word twice. So like, I'm like ham, like a pig, because you've got to like say like something that's like ham, but not ham. But he just doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm ham, like a giant ham. Say the same word twice.
What was the one he had in Kid Twist? I'm a giant letter.
I'm a huge letter. But we always have like one of those bars that just like make no sense.
He said to Danny, so Danny's real name is Dean Holder, and he's like, your name's Dean Holder, but I don't see you holding any Deans.
I'm so glad that was in his third, because if he said that when I had a round after, I would have forgot everything.
The best, man.
He said the stupidest shit to me. It was so fun.
About anything because he
I got 3-0'd and it was like the best fucking body I've ever experienced in my life. It's so good.
Was OSHEA, so he has zero care about like what he says.
Yeah. The beauty of it is as well, it's like, I can't be bothered to give you the time of day to make this a good punchline. Just have what I've got. It's a disrespect in itself.
But yet I'm still gonna make everyone here fucking die laughing.
He said to me, he's like, you're so. He's like,
it's how he says it.
He was like, 4 years ago you were so fucking shit. 4 years later, you're slightly less fucking shit. He's like, you're so fucking shit, you're fucking shit. You're so fucking shit, it's like you're shagging poo.
It's got that same like madness thing where like his setups are as good as his punches. Like that whole like, I'm that Everton I'm that ketamine snorting, Everton supporting. Just like the lines that he throws away are as good as the eventual punchlines.
Talk about your drug addiction.
But it's like, because it's so self-deprecating and so self-aware and just so throwaway, even his worst stuff is better than anyone else's best stuff.
He had one where
you
he
can't
was
beat the
like,
dude,
I go
bro,
mad,
like,
and he was like, fuck you, where I walk's crazy, I walk on a psychopath.
That, like, in the
so
UK,
silly,
you can't.
My favourite thing was when he battled Thesaurus, like the rebuttal back and forth.
Is crazy. That's what it is. It's the walk up to my house is crazy. I've
You're
got
right,
psychopath.
So that was Blizzard, wasn't it?
No, he said it against Blizzard.
But like it was like the back and forth, the rebuttals between him and Thesaurus that led to that whole fucking. Thesaurus said you're losing a battle to alcoholism like 3-0, and he's like
it's a debatable 2-1.
It's a debatable 2-1.
My favourite Osh bar is like I've got the Colombian round here, like Carlos Valderrama. I'll shag your father. That's not gay. That's life. Frank Sinatra.
Osh is the best. I think he's the best of all time.
Yeah, he's the greatest of all time.
I don't think he's beatable. Like. Unless he shits the bed, there is no way anyone can beat him because, like, you know, you can take angles to deconstruct people, you can take angles to make people look bad, but you can't make someone look bad that is fully aware of how bad they look.
Him versus like, Good would be the GOAT battle, bro.
You can't say anything to hurt him.
Yeah,
like, but like what he can say can make you look like a fucking mug every single time.
This guy said, "I'm O'Shea, I'm so scoused, I'll pull a knife out in my own house and say, Mum, give me your fucking purse, I'm going out." He's the greatest.
He's generally
has O'Shea versus Carter ever been like?
No, that should happen though.
Yeah, I'd love that to happen.
Osh versus Carter would be great, and Carter versus Harry Baker as well.
And Osh versus Shuffle and Marlowe.
Me too. We had that. We had that for March. It was supposed to be O'Shea versus Marlowe for our March event, but then it got cancelled.
No, it should be Osh versus Shuffle and Marlowe.
Yo, that would be special.
Or Osh and Pedro together might be that.
No, just Osh and
Osh and Pedro versus Shuffle would be fucking stupid.
I didn't even front it.
From the sink to the frying pan, that pan go so damn ham you would think I was a giant ham. All day, punchline always, receiving foreplay at my restraining order court. Every time I see Pedro, he's either shotting or on that MDMA.
Ironically.
Every fucking fella in the room, pure evidence he's gay. You freestyle and say brother, you're like a more feminine DK.
Do you remember when I filmed that like drops?
Drops.
Oh wow!
So this that sold me heroin.
Not naming any names, but someone who might be participating in this battle have tried to buy some MDMA off of someone else who might have been at this event, and it was a dark brown, and someone was trying to do like a freestyle rap video to camera, and he interrupted it by holding up a rock of whatever this substance was, going, "Gemini sold me heroin."
Ocean Ruins eats drops.
Man ruined these drops and snitch.
Man hid every name.
Bleep the names.
So
you were like not saying names and then you did the name straight in.
That was great. We're keeping it. Let it live. Let it live.
Yo.
Snitches get stitches.
Let's go,
So if you think Pedro gonna beat me, how? So she got the bars, make the crowd go wow. If you like bars, you gonna like me now. Cause when I punch my like pow, you'll be like,
O'Shea the greatest, bro.
When a punch like pow, you'll be like,
ow.
Fam, I was dying.
Oh yes, there we go.
This is my favorite round.
There we go. All right.
No, he's not freestyling, but
I think that would be quite a lot of freestyle.
Yeah.
He might be.
Osh freestyles a lot. I think that was freestyle.
Yeah.
Oh, Osh.
Bottom of the first on Pedro. This round is fucking amazing.
Both of them are just have that ability.
You said I'm like Speedy Gonzalez. Well, I'm saying you're like Fabian Barthez. Hold up. You said something about a giant ham. Well, you're so high you got the eyes of a Chinese man.
Okay.
Yo, you're gonna have to rewind it so much.
I'm ready to run it back.
Every line is just a hit.
I'm ready to run it back.
You said something about a giant ham. Well, you're so high you got the eyes of a Chinese man. I'm gonna punch you up when I was 19, fam. You get bumped and announced for 19 grams.
He keeps touching him.
But like if you even like. So a lot of people hate on Pedro online, but if you didn't think, he literally did the giant ham line off the spot, then follows that up with you got bumped for an ounce by 19 grams.
And he had there's a third line in between that, like, lost in reaction.
He thinks in multi-syllables. The way that some people try to write and do awfully, he does way better as a freestyle. Bump for an ounce, like 19 grams. That's fucking mental.
Crazy punch, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For 19 grams. You be in gay sex clubs wearing latex gloves. I'm there.
Right? You can't beat Osh because he does that.
Don't get sent to the bank like a paycheck does. You should make less fuss, take 8 steps, cause I kill off your kids like safe sex does. Woo! Trauma for fingering your ass with a pencil shot.
Oh my god, bro.
Rectal drama.
Rectal drama.
You got rectal drama.
Oh, mate.
Pencil shot. You can suck up on the wall like an electric charger. See me licking shots like you went to Gaza. Your bars are as real as a red banana.
Anyway.
Yo, he brought that
Turns
back,
out a
man.
red banana actually exists.
Yeah,
Someone
he
brought it
brought
up
one.
afterwards.
Yeah.
I never knew about the red banana.
And they both brought one the same day, and they were both.
No, he brought out a red banana, a green banana.
Where are these
a
red
white
bananas?
They're about.
I think they died because he brought out a red banana, a green banana, a white banana.
And they were all on his hand, yeah.
Yeah, he had all bad colouring. Anyway,
All based off that body.
Pedro the Groat.
He salutes him.
Shallow right there. How is that?
Hold up. Stephen O'Shea, you need a soulmate. He goes on Skype, speaks to Kojay. I sleep in the hot lake.
Goes online and speaks to Kojay.
Stephen O'Shea, you need a soulmate. You go online and speak to Kojay. That's crazy.
Yo, I fucking love Pedro.
Hold up. Stephen O'Shea, you need a soulmate. He goes on Skype and speaks to Kojay. I sleep in the hot lake, feeling rose. Punch to the chest, believer O'Shea. You bun weed to Coldplay and you cry to Brian Adams.
You bun weed to Coldplay.
You cried to Brian Adams.
Yo, there's no one like him, man.
Oh my god.
O'Shea, you bun weed to Coldplay and you cry to Brian Adams. His mum always comments on the rhyming challenge.
Yo, do you remember that?
Always comments on my rhyming
Yo, I used to do that. Yo, swear down, he used to do that, right? He used to post on Facebook, he'd be like, rhyming challenge. And he'd say something like Strongbow Dark Fruit.
Oh, that was a real thing.
I thought he was just talking about his rap battles and rhyming challenge.
Yeah, no, he used to post on his Facebook and he'd be like, rhyme dark fruit, and you'd have to rhyme something like hard dudes.
I've got no hard dudes.
Oh my god. And the thing is,
the best ones, he'd be like, you're sick, and then he'd just air other people, he'd be like, you're sick. And I used to always go on there because I wanted him to react to my shit, and I'd write the fucking best one I could think of. He'd be like, you're dope, and I'm like, yeah.
And at this time, the rhyming challenge was so easy, like 400 comments per one. So when he said that bar, everyone was like, yo, that's fire.
You know he took all of them. I was like, they're mine.
Pedro's also potentially the best of all time.
It took bro, he's up there, man. He's up there.
Yeah, I'm not hating on that.
Let's go.
His mum always comments on the rhyming challenge.
Look at the people that know.
Hello.
You look like Charles Dickinson mixed with Carl Pilkington.
Charles Dickinson.
Who's Charles Dickinson?
Oh, is that not fire?
Charles Dickinson. And some other person.
I literally just said that's fire on camera. So.
What's he on about?
It's real.
You look like Charles Dickinson mixed with Carl Pilkington.
Strong, man.
I met your girlfriend
Charles
with my brass
Dickinson.
instrument. You're firing blacks like you are impotent. I be killing hostages like that France incident.
Yes. So blasé, bro.
No, I fucked with it, man.
France incident.
That shit that happened over there.
This one time in France.
So to clear it up, this was at the time when the horrific footage of many people were like run over by a truck in Nice, and we call it the France incident.
He did. France incident.
Yeah, I thought he was referencing the comic book thing. Yeah, Charlie
he was down. It was Nice, so it's when everyone got run over and mowed over.
Well, he doesn't specify, so it could be anything. It's just that France incident.
It was just that France incident. It's one of
There's
those.
many France incidents. I'm trying to think which France incident.
That's why it works.
That's one thing in
That's why it
France.
works as a bar.
It was about
France.
I believe it was the French Revolution.
That's such a Pedro thing as well, because I bet he doesn't even know what he's referencing. He just just know something happened in France.
And we like the rest of it.
Yeah, that France thing, it was mad.
We're killing hostages like that France incident. It's mum joke time. Your mum
Alright.
It's mum joke time.
Danny, sit the fuck down.
I'm going for a piss.
Sit down.
I'm going to piss myself.
What?
Roasting session. It's mum joke time. Your mum's got a tattoo of the Umbro sign.
That right there is the peak of UK battle rap.
One of the best 2-bar rhymes of all time.
From that point, it went downhill. Literally nothing was better.
It's like Puma and shit.
You ever seen Umbro?
Do you have Umbro in this?
No, we don't. I only know it because of these guys. It's like really big over here.
I
mean, it's not even big, man.
It was big.
It's like, I guess not big as an understatement or overstatement.
If someone had like a tattoo on an Umbro sign, they're like,
it's mum joke time.
Like the work, like,
but it's like if you wore Umbros to school,
like they're like
people
the,
be like,
you know what chav is?
really? Like, you know, like
someone like
the top tier.
I don't know what it's like in America, but like people that's like a lot, like people like not benefits,
we call like
welfare and stuff like that. So if some like over here, the people who have like titles of sports logos like that are like that sort of person.
Okay, word.
So when he said that, it was like, yo.
Mate, I was.
That's the right way to put it, right? I'm saying like people that have sports tattoos are like.
Got a tattoo of the Umbro sign.
Shut down. I was at the back, yeah.
It's like a chav.
And I remember looking at.
And it puts such a like for British people in it. You instantly think of like
Jeremy Kyle.
Those kind of, you know exactly the kind of person he's implying with.
That's what I was trying to explain. It's like welfare, like
people
out in America, I guess.
I don't even think Pedro realised how good that line was.
No, he didn't.
He just picked up on the fact that she used to say mum jokes.
Yeah, brother. The thing, saying how good that line is, understatement. Like this is like that is like that's timeless. Like people will say that forever.
Pedro actually got more famous from the mum joke time, but it was O'Shea's original thing.
Yeah. No, I know.
So he was doing a flip on that.
It's like someone doing
that got more well known than O'Shea's.
You know what it's like? It's like Soul Jitsu's thing. It's like it's just one of those timeless.
No, but it's like someone doing Charlie Clips's Psych I Lied and then making it theirs, which kind of like Hollow did.
Yeah. So he took another man's whole
and
thing
made it theirs.
And made it theirs. And then because so many people have tried to do like mum joke time and it's dead.
No chance.
Battle rap slogans are the most trash thing on earth. That one's a good one.
You know what I learned recently? You know in King of the Dot when Pat and all them used to say, "You fucking hypocrite."
Yeah.
Do you know where that started?
Was it Pat Stavos Hollow?
No. JAQQ started that.
Really?
Yeah. He's one of my favorites.
I like because Twist was like, "Where did that start?" And I'm like, I actually don't know because it's like one of those things in King of the Dot everybody always says.
Yeah, exactly.
I was calling him out for decades.
Say it to?
Twist.
Right.
Twist said it in his.
You fucking. So it was like a title thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
People bring up in the title matches.
Yeah. When did fucking what happened to JAQQ?
I called him out for
stopped
decades.
battling. He does MMA now.
I'm
kicks ass.
He does MMA.
Yeah, just grappling and shit.
Yo, I was calling him out.
I could not imagine him doing MMA.
I did not expect that.
He's the man. Yo, his shit for Miracle. I said, I'll take a carrot to your house. Parrot can get out. Look up at the sky, at the stairs and the clouds, because he was taking a piss out of his accent. Yeah. Where everything they say is
Miracle's
off.
Scotian accent.
He smoked Miracle so badly, bro.
Miracle's accent killed him, man.
Facts.
Bears.
Am I chewing gum? It must be.
Yeah. You was fucked up as okay.
Somebody gave me heroin.
Oh, dude. Pedro's beer goes fucking everywhere in this battle. I like at the beginning of his round, it's almost full, and by the end, it's like fucking gone.
Doesn't Osh take a sip of it?
I think so.
It's mum joke time. Your mum's got a tattoo of the Umbros.
Yeah.
So fire.
Alright.
Fuck yeah. Hurry up.
Sorry, bro.
That's all good.
What the fuck's wrong with your bladder, bro?
No, I'm the worst.
Yo, I'm running cider like a dog. That doesn't make no sense.
Jesus Christ, man. Relax.
Mum joke time. Your mum's got a tattoo of the Umbros.
Bro, am I coming?
She be in the men's toilet sniffing jumbo lines. She had 2 battles and she won both times.
Fucking amazing. She's had 2 battles and she's won both times. Let's go.
On
Let's go, nonsense.
She had 2 battles and she won both. Yo,
that's actually a diss as well.
2 battles and she won both times.
But it's almost like such an Osh bar. Like Osh would say that to
exactly.
as well.
I think he took his blueprint and fucking ran with it, man.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yo. Your mum looks like Nick Nolte. She wears socks on her hands like Mick Foley. Her nickname up in prison is Big Tony.
more
know what split pokey
ridiculous.
is?
Yeah, I don't want this.
Imagine get the imagery of that.
Yo,
bro.
he
Like,
said that in a room full of people, man. What a champ.
I rate it. In a bomber jacket.
Alright, what? Rowan just destroys Pedro's beer
He
here.
does, and you see Pedro get mad as well.
Yeah, watch.
Yo, you make Richie Lake look like Triple H. If there was a WrestleMania in Pennsylvania, you'd probably fly there from West Australia.
That's his rank challenge all day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just like if you you know, if you want to go WrestleMania, you're
I've probably commented 3 of them.
I swear it's not even that far. Like, it's just
I've
grand
probably
scheme of
commented
things.
3 of
You
them.
could go down around that side.
To the battle.
That is the most forced multi-scheme we've ever heard.
You got missing like planes from West Malaysia. You be online staring at genitalia. You told Harry Baker that you suck his dad's dick. You probably think that rugged man's fit. You said when you were 19 you were fucking fat chicks. Well, I bet when you were 18 you were sucking man's dicks.
Yo, that was the punch.
He said time.
Suck it, man.
Fucking told you.
He
His
should have left
closing line in the battle
He should have left
was,
that
I
last
bet
8
when you were
bars out.
18, you were sucking man's tits.
He should have left that last 8
Pedro,
bar out,
right,
bro. He shut it
If
down.
I'm not wrong, this battle really peters off towards the end.
Oh,
It has
without
the
doubt,
strongest
yeah.
first round ever.
Yo, my favorite line in this battle is in
Black
Pedro's
K-Shine, Pedro. Looking close.
Pedro was like really topical on that as well. Like he was hitting
Yeah, like a French.
that French thing.
the Malaysian thing.
That probably happened how long ago?
Hashtag trending.
Remember that mad thing in France?
They all had the filters on their page.
Let's go, hold it down, round 2, let's go. Fuck whatever the fuck he's saying. This bar's a pure weak. He's talking about Umbro, you're sponsored by the Cock Sports.
Wait, okay, so I don't
Yeah, it's a long
get
one.
that.
Down, round 2, let's go. Fuck whatever the fuck he's saying. This bar's a pure weak. He's talking about Umbro, you're sponsored by the Cock Sports.
Wow, such a
That is so old
It's
school.
another fringe old brand.
If you didn't know Umbro, you definitely know it.
Yeah,
They used
it's
to
on the
sponsor
Yeah,
the
they had a
French.
roast.
Yo, I'm gonna say now though, bro.
It's like Kappa and
How slept on that flip is, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember that flip is just as good as what
Yeah.
Pedro said.
Yeah, he just.
But
No one remembers
It's
it.
the use of the old brand.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
It's
you
like
could say, oh, like,
Sporty.
you spit it right, well, you've got the right tip, like Nike or whatever, but, like, the
Yeah.
fact that he used Le
Le
Coq
Coq
Sporty.
Yo, I have one pair of Le Coq Sporty tracksuit. I don't even
How
wear to bed
old
no
are you,
more.
But again, it's perfect because it falls under
Well, that
the bracket
is
of clothes that
cool.
people at
That's
school
like-
would ride you on for wearing.
Yeah, it's like high tech.
Do you remember when you were at school and man used to like cuss you for wearing Gola because
Yeah,
you
it's like,
got
it was an
yeah,
Adidas
yeah.
style, like
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
Puma got a passport.
It's
If
like
it wasn't
90s
Adidas
sports
on that,
brands.
that's that, like,
Yeah.
They're basically like the poor man sport brands. So like,
Yeah.
Poor man's
Still got it. Still got it.
Let's go, BAGNALL.
so I got cussed for the same thing. So like normally, if you didn't have Nike, Adidas, or Reebok, everyone used to ride on you if you had Gola, Le Coq Sportif, Umbro, Fila. They weren't seen as that higher brands. High tech as well, yeah. So everyone used to cuss you if you had those.
Facts.
So the fact that they used an Umbro and then they used Le Coq Sportif is very fucking
Way
like,
better, yeah.
fringe.
Yeah.
You get bullied in school for wearing that shit. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, I
To have to rebuttal it with.
Did
a
it ever
brand
come
is like-
back? You know how like here, like
Fila's come back.
champion now
Fila
is like
came back.
Kappa came back.
Champion came back.
is it
It's
it's big over here
Alessi
now?
came
Yeah,
back
because
as
you know
well.
that
Yeah,
did
Alessi came
came
back,
back
definitely
too.
big
Did
time.
Umbro ever get
that's
hot
it.
again?
Umbro hasn't.
Umbro hasn't yet. We might need to make that hot.
Yeah.
We need to start
Fila,
Okay,
They did alright for
Alessi.
football boots
Fila,
and stuff. They
Alessi.
worked their market.
they do, yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
No
Umbro
one
is
wears them in work.
Umbro's not back. You lot are
I didn't
reaching.
say it was
bro.
bad.
I'm not saying
I
it's
said
bad,
it
I'm
was-
saying
it
they
wasn't
found
bad.
It's a bit more
It wasn't
reputable.
bad.
what they did.
If
I
anything,
don't play on football.
Pedro made it relevant.
if I think it now, it wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
Let's
not
go.
bad, really.
Let's go. That flip was fire.
Hold it down, round 2, let's go. Fuck whatever the fuck he's saying. This bar's a pure weak. He's talking about Umbro, you're sponsored by the Cock Sports.
So far. You see, he's so proud of himself, isn't he? He's like, not tenable.
Please stop. I'm in Leeds, I'll fuck up your next verse like eeks drops.
Yeah, this was a different event.
Like eeks drops.
That's the thing where he fucked up the guy rapping.
With you is that you're quite funny, but everything you talk's irrelevant. You make less sense than poor Americans.
Awful.
You can't fuck with OSHEA. I'm a tour de force. You rhyme like you're trying to sell to the highest bidder in storage wars.
That is gold.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's an American program.
Yeah, their show.
Fuck off, bro.
Yeah, you're going to bring on it.
Dan-splaining.
I'm a tour de force. You rhyme like you're trying to sell to the highest bidder in storage wars.
That's right.
Your basis goes from wars with orcs. You went on tour and bought a Porsche in the same sentence. Lad, if you done a love song, it'd be called Stab the Fuck Up, Safe Brethren.
Oh my god.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. Yes, I love this part.
This is so funny.
You made a love song.
That's a bar.
Ain't no way like that.
Ford Fiesta. That's a car.
Yes.
That's a
Fucking
star.
pure ridiculousness, dog. What the fuck?
Well, this whole 4-bar is incredible, bro.
Sentence. Lad, if you done a love song, it'd be called Stab the Fuck Up, Safe Brethren. That's a bar. Ford Fiesta. That's a car. The fucking sun. That's a star.
Yes.
Big fat slag. That's your man.
That right there is UK battle rap.
That's it.
UK battle rap in 4 bars.
That's why they say
Big
English
fat
muffins.
slag.
Fuck the souls, fuck the Tony D's. That is what we.
That was a
And that's why they
lyrical
call us English
whirlwind.
muffins. Right
Yo,
there.
this
I've got a pack of cards
mate.
up my sleeve for no reason. And guess what? I don't need them.
Yo, what makes me laugh is he must have had them up his arm for like a round and a half, bro. He must have just had this like cardboard cutting into his arm.
For no reason.
For no reason. You don't need them.
But at the same time, I feel like it's actually this whole like self-aware, like like self-deprecation of what battle rap is. You know, at the same time, like we can look at this and say this is like ridiculous or it's silly or it's like stupid, but at the same time, a lot of the tropes that he's doing are things that other battle rappers do, but this is a funnier way of looking at it because it is like, if you're normally in a pub, at the end of the day, everyone goes in battles. At the end of the day, we're all best friends. We go to the bar, we have a drink, and everyone's cool. Yeah. The way that he personifies is the same as how Shuffle and Marlowe do it. Yeah. It's like, it's twisting it on its head. It's like the Black Mirror of battle rap, where you're looking at it from like this angle where, yeah, what we're doing is a little bit silly. No. And like, even like, you know, oh, I've got this prop for no reason, and just like throwing it. It's so much like lighter. I don't know. I just think I think Osh, like, technically as a rapper and as a rhymer, he actually raps. His like cadence and his like rhyme schemes are perfectly sound. But what he says is such a funny mimic of what other battle rappers do in a completely normal-minded way.
Following that point, so obviously Jem wanted to be part of Next in Line. And Jem was like, I want to battle, blah, blah, blah. And I was like trying to find an opponent. I was going to replace myself with Jem to battle Osh for that exact point. So to see Jem go against someone that does take
it's not a good battle.
But I don't know.
It's not mine.
I just can't see Jem versus Osh being good. I don't know.
Jem was down originally.
No, it's not.
No.
Mine had Bear in it.
Jem's on
so Jem
versus Soul. Yeah. By the way,
Jem versus Soul is a fucking mental battle.
Yeah.
Jem versus Soul is gonna be sick, man.
That's like, correct me if I'm wrong, that's like a long-awaited battle too, right?
I'm hoping I can go. But
yeah.
I actually won't know if I can go.
I mean, it's more that there's like,
so much
who else do they have left to battle here?
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious about
Jem versus Soul?
If I can go.
They are the two best.
I think
it's It's funny how they're like pushing it as a long-awaited grudge match, which 2000% isn't.
No, but that's the smoke and mirrors, bro. That's what URL brings to.
Oh yeah, no, it's
WWE. Yeah, we need to sell. It's promotion. We need to sell merch, man.
Grudge match. There's no grudge there, right?
No,
it's just the fact that they're the two best and they need to battle. But I think they should push it as yo, WWE been lying to us for years. Why don't battle rap do the same thing? We should be selling it. I reckon URL have it right. I bet half of their grudge matches over there aren't.
You gotta sell the fight.
Yo, yeah, I bet. You think Kate, like I don't know. You might know them more than I do, but I don't think K-Shine and T-Rex really hate each other as much as they act up. But they sold it, right?
It was 50-50.
Okay, but you know they always sell everything as a grudge match. You know what I mean?
K-Shine T-Rex
more.
It did happen.
That happened.
Gnome 7?
Oh, no, I remember.
About Gnome 7.
I literally have tuned out battle rap since I
K-Shine
left
beat
battle rap.
T-Rex so mad that at the end of the round he was like, yo man, like, it was cool. And then he went, fuck you.
Yo, people still falling for the fake dappers.
No, but he made that shit like fire.
Yeah.
Like it was rough. Because he'd 3-0'd him and it was bad. I remember being like, yo, this is rough for T-Rex.
Oh, that happened to J Mills too.
I heard about that.
Never go for the dab.
Never do it.
You know what's hilarious about
K-Shine, if you see him live, is one of the best performers.
You guys had that.
He's got.
The J Dose battle I filmed was fucked up.
With the chain up, yeah.
No, the thing is, I really like Dose.
Is that with the moon?
Yeah, I like
He's one of my favorites.
I love J Dose.
He's one of my favorites.
I've never watched him.
His rematch with Math was.
I love J Dose. I think he's very technically. I mean, like everyone will argue that he beat Math in the first battle before he got knocked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But like Dose, we've become pretty good friends. We were working on like a couple of with Tech actually. We were on like Philly Murder Mile. Me and Cruz. We filmed like a bunch of like material with him, and then the K-Shine battle happened, and how bad he shit the bed. I felt bad, like to the point that I couldn't look at him afterwards because like how awkward was that battle live? Like it, like K-Shine was on a different level. Like it was
so.
You fucked him up, but like actually live, how fucking good that battle was. Like K-Shine's like performance. I think like there is always like a problem. You get the conceited Arsenals of the world where in the room it's clear who won, and on video you can argue about it. But like live, I mean, there's no way for Dose to escape it. But Dose is one of those rappers who would benefit massively on from video over being live in the venue. But like. Shine, like it was fucked up.
I love that. Like,
I remember when
I wasn't even the biggest K-Shine fan.
I was so hyped.
It was similar to the Soul Scheme when he had that "Give the God a Wound Breaker," struggling to move like Tomb Raider.
I just feel like you can't win on cam anymore, man. Fuck that. Like, do you know what I mean? That's a crutch.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
always on camera. That's how you decide the winner.
No, you win in the room, you win the battle.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
You win the battle.
I've had people try to
from
tell
the
me
old school era of battle rap. I mean, like Freddie.
I've evolved. That's what I'm saying. I used to be like, yo, like as a battler personally, I'm like, I'm gonna win this on camera. That's lazy.
This on camera shit is like
it's lazy.
People studying boxing is not the same.
Like back in the day, like 2008, 2009. If you had a slight slip up or any mistake, you lost. And like, if you're like soft spoken or if you don't sell your stuff in the venue, you've lost. But like, what the camera's actually done is made it easier for people who can't perform. And I think like really, it's not about who wins on camera; it's about who wins in the room. And I will not like.
If I say the same thing on Champ, they kill me.
Yeah, but they
don't. Yeah, that's because you built Champion around being like technical, and being really analytical, which is a good thing. But
you can dominate in a way. Like honestly, like if I saw someone like live who seems soft spoken, who seems defeated, while someone else is dominating, like same as like with Hollow and Pat, the way he's walking around and the way he's talking, like it's difficult as an example because both of them are great performers, but the way that he bullies him, but at the same time, Arsenal completely bullied the shit out of Conceited in that battle. Arsenal won entirely in the room. Conceited said on camera, and I seen it, that he lost that battle. But when it came out, because everyone argued that he won, he was like, yeah, no, I won.
Yeah.
But like, the camera doesn't, like, if you lose in the room, you lose.
Well, the best performer will always be in my opinion.
Classic example.
And I care more about lyricism and all that kind of shit. It's like, you could be the best rapper, best lyricist, whatever, but not be a good performer. Or you could be like, not a great lyricist, but a great performer. I prefer the performer, because like, they win you over. Charm and like, the way you can rap and stuff just goes like
means a lot more.
That's why this first round is amazing on both parts.
It's really frustrating.
Going head to head more than anything.
It's really frustrating when it's great lyricists, but they don't have performance. That's just wasted.
That was a big problem with Soul at first.
I just think like we've become so much more lenient as we moved on. Like back in the day, like back in the culture of like back in the culture when like this was like a bad thing, and back in the day where like any mistake, any slip up. Remember when like even someone stumbled one word, people were like ooh, you know, like. But now like you can fuck up as much as you want and you can still win. I think like really to win in a room of like to win. You have to fucking body.
Twerk's popularity is a prime example of how you win in the room and it matters, because if you watch Twerk versus Verb, I think Verb, bar for bar, like word for word, was better than Twerk, but the performance shows difference.
Twerk's hard to say. There's no one like him. That's what
I'm saying. You can't. I think you win in the room, you win the battle.
But I think this whole like lame-ass idea of just like super intellectual lyricism is fucking like trash.
Which is the reason.
At the same time, like
which is the reason Soul started shouting.
I like writing, but if you watch Shotgun Shug live, he might not say the most fucking articulate, incredible shit. But he will bully the fuck out of you, make you look like a bitch. Like at the same time, like bro, like even like nowadays, I think like it's been taken out of account what someone says to you can completely take the wind out of what someone else says. I think like the way that you used to write and the way that you used to do battles. Remember when me used to chill and you'd be like,
I would treat it like it's boxing though, and that's what I'm saying. But that's because I know. But that's because at that point in time and stuff as well, especially when it's like
on point.
But it's also for me. Then it's like everyone was overperforming and so on and so forth, and I knew that it was a massive fan base that wanted real quote unquote lyricism, or at least a no nonsense kind of approach to it. Like so that's where I would look to accommodate. But at the same time, I'm like. At that point, I'm like, so I'm doing it for the people at home or whatever. It's like, yo, I'm gonna go Google this and check that it's right, like, do you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. Like, and then I had to battle Briggsy in a massive venue and died on that stage because I didn't know how to perform. Right?
So another example, you bar for bar were better than him. But
then what I learned from that, I took to the dialect battle and learned to perform.
But then that didn't matter. The whole like this bar for bar shit is so bullshit.
That's what I'm saying.
I think like at the end of the day, like. Even like my experience with like Bam or like my experience with Freddie or experience that I know, there's a complete chess move thing in how you choose your rounds. If I know that you're going to come at me in this angle, this angle, this angle, like I remember being with Bam and he completely switched his third, first and second, completely switched all the rounds and it completely echoed what they said in a way. So on the day he tried to go in on like Bam saying, I don't really care anyway. Bam knew that would happen. Originally it was in his first verse, but he moved it to his second, because when the guy said it in the first and he said it in the second, wind out of sails. But we completely disregarded that. Like, there's a way...
Pat Stay versus, like, that's a good example. Like, he laid it all up, so you go, here's the facts.
And then you don't give a fuck about what he said.
You can't deny him, you can't...
Best example is Shuffle versus Raptor. When you finish hearing Shuffle rap, you hear Raptor do his bit, and then really, you're only really interested in waiting for what Shuffle's going to say, because everything that he said, regardless of what Raptor said, has made you so disinterested in what man's got to say, because he's completely cut man down.
Shuffle's phone round.
Bar for bar.
No.
Did you hear that intricate rhyme?
No, when I say bar for bar, I'm saying bar for bar, you still lose if someone performs better. That's my point.
Shotgun Shug would beat me 3-0 10 times out of 10.
But it depends. But
I could outright him.
If you can say the perfect direct thing for him that makes him look like a mug and makes everything that he says to you look stupid, you've won. Even if he's going mad. It's just this whole like fucking...
Shuffle's whole phone round had nothing to do with Raptor. And that was
Pat Stay's another great example, because Hollow tried to outstyle him in that, right? And then Pat had to go, alright, so I can't fully outstyle him with my usual I'm swagging you. He took it to the... I'm going to play up these sarcastic moments so well that it robbed him of any coolness. Because it's like, good for you, like, you know? When someone else would have been, I'm cooler than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm tougher than you. But he knew Hollow's going to be able to outswag me in certain elements, especially for this crowd, so on and so forth. That's how the chess moves work. You got to know how to like make it play against your opponent and stuff. But what you can't do is just be like, I'm going to win. Like, I'm going to get everything I wrote as a punchline and it's technical and blah. You know, like how Soul used to not get respect because it was all so overly technical. So
Soul's growth has been pretty insane.
Because he didn't. The thing is, he's never changed what he said. The lyrics have always been just good. He's learned how to deliver to a crowd so they understand.
Imagine Soul.
That's true. That's hella true.
Imagine Soul
never changed his lyrics ever.
Imagine Soul 4 years ago in Tony's face saying, "Who the fuck?" Screaming at that, bro. The way Soul shouted in Tony's ear, "Who the fuck are you?" Imagine Soul doing that. They would never happen, bro.
Best Soul line of all time. If you went to ISIS, they'd send you back our way because you've got 2 I's you can't use and 2 S's you can't say. Said that to C Major.
He could probably throw that in
Glasses,
if he wanted to. Like, you know,
lisp.
someone like Mike P is like a
They send you to ISIS to send you back our way. You've got 2 I's you can't use and 2 S's you can't say. That is fucking mental.
That battle is
bar for bar.
Yeah, you broke it down on here as well.
Yeah, I love that battle so much, man. That was fucking amazing. Back to this.
Back to a nonsensical battle.
Yeah, back to
I know we got so deep about bars from watching this.
Yo, we're all losing.
But you see the way Soul sounds.
That's a car.
I don't need him.
We did it off the back of play cards.
Cards for no reason.
We on the south.
Adam Deacon films on repeat. It's a Sunday night and you're going to watch another Wood and another 6 times this week. Forget all that bullshit.
Like Sunday.
I'll tell you what I find a bit insane. I support Everton, Tony sports Spurs, Lucy sports Nottingham Forest, you sport Philly Swain.
It's so true as well. This is at a time where
Pedro is obsessed with
he
posted a picture of him on his Instagram like this week or something.
Yeah, that boy is done.
Yeah.
You sport Spurs.
He did, bro.
Lucy sports Nottingham Forest, you sport Philly Swain.
Remember.
I do.
You love him so much.
Skinny Swain's hilarious.
You'd be liking his Instagram pictures before they'd even be uploaded. As far as Philly Swain bars go, Pedro can quote you every single line. Pedro's donating Philly Swain his kidney, and Philly Swain's kidney is for the stated line, but I admit that Pedro Makes Sense video is one of my favourite finds. Like, I go up at your cliff and smash your team. You're a small white cliff who likes big black guys. You are purple lackeys, dream.
That's too much to explain.
Do you want to know about Purple
I
Lackey?
don't think that's too much to explain.
Purple Lackey's a weird, like, sexual molester from Liverpool.
Google him. He recently came up in the news again today because he thinks that the Manchester police are picking on him. But you can Google about that.
Yeah, he does sex harassment.
Alright.
Yeah, he goes up to geezers and does all that.
Fuck this up like you fuck Pedro. You fucking bellend. Play a black team. But as far as punches go, lad, I'm giving the most. You get hit in the mouth. Philly Swain is the password to your Twitter account. Philly Swain got shot, popped in the thigh. Shot him like why? You testified that it was I.
He's fucking slowly getting more
So fucked, bro.
Mars in Boston.
Wow.
And she smashed him. She was a fool. She was around at the corner like, where's the fucking tool?
I love like O'Shea's frustrated, like
it's always his second round. He always gets to the end of his second.
It's every round. It's every round. I'm trying to shit, mate. Carry on. I'm sorry. He always apologises for his round.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, carry on.
When he battles, he's
like my favourite
battle. He's like,
when he's filming,
a random verse.
He knows that
That was so true.
Whenever I film a battle, he knows I film
That's just a mixtape verse.
Anytime he starts a verse, he always looks at me and goes, "You ready? You ready, lad? You ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what it is, mate. Like,
it's on.
You ready, lad? Go."
God's sake.
I hated this event now.
Listen, I got chicks buying me G-Star Raw. I'll drag man out of the Jeep car door. I'll rip to this big glass door. Leave man laying on the green park floor. Spit a punchline in 3 bars more. Why does man act like a retard for? It's what you get stripped like tree bark for. Suck so much dick that his knees are sore. I make the sister back it for your winter jacket.
Let's go. Make your sister back it for listen, bro. Your jacket, bro.
I carjack your mum while she sits in traffic and I won't let her go till she sniffs a packet.
Yeesh.
Yeah, he's different, man. He's so
I
different.
just to get my phone. I just realised I ain't had my phone on me in hours.
What do you need your phone for, bruv? We're filming right now. You better be focusing.
Anyone got a phone?
Danny, how many times you stand up and move? What's wrong with you?
Ain't no one got a phone in it. Fuck your phone.
Alright, we'll wait for Liam and Danny to get back.
We'll wait for Liam, not Danny.
Alright.
Shut up, bruv.
So who do you guys got? Soul versus Gem?
I'm still saying so. I hate saying Soul.
It's like
because I've never
my
said no
preference
to
will be
Gem.
Soul.
I've never
like,
said
yeah,
no
that's
to
true
Gem
though.
ever. I just feel like this is the time for Soul, man.
There's never been a Gem battle that I haven't just
like
waited. Like anytime he raps, I'm like, yeah, he's sick.
Oh really?
But he
Soul also has Ilmac a month after that. So
but that's never a problem for him.
That would never
really?
bother him, no.
Yeah, that's never a
he
problem
battled
for him.
dialect.
But I just think if you look at Gemini's last battles, like he's just been on jobs. You know what I mean? I think with Soul, he's always kills it.
But Gem said this is one thing, and this is something you brought up in the show, right? Gem was tweeting today about my 3rd round. I'm gonna explain everything that's been going on with me, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
That means you could potentially be thrown away around, unless you've done it like beautifully. Like I hate when people address their real life stuff in battles as a general rule of thumb, because that's not what it's there for. If you're a rapper, you can make a whole track or an album about those struggles and so on and so forth. Yeah. But when you're there to battle, like, and that's no disrespect to whatever that person's gone through when they're talking about it, you are there to battle, so you can't turn up and say, I'm going to give away this round because so-and-so happened, so let me tell you about that. Because it's just filling it in. Like, and if you're going to make up not a random story, tell a story, do it in a way that's shuffle done against Heretic, where you suddenly go, oh wait, this is an amazing story that sounded like it was true to life, but it's actually like mocking the entire... And I know that he has been like through whatever, because he's been like offline quite heavily. Yeah. But you're battling one of the best in the country. Don't be thinking about anything other than destroying that person. If he does it well, hats off to him, whatever. Yeah. But to me, I read that and I go, you're potentially throwing away your 3rd round on this. Yeah, I hate when people get real in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I don't even like the
yeah, but maybe it's just a fucking red herring.
It could be.
I feel like getting real in a round has to be sort of organic, like in the sense of like the person I'm battling, what we've gone through, where we've been writing for each other. Oh, this kind of works.
Bro, I'm not trying to read an agony ant column in a battle. That's going to come at me and be like, oh, this is where it gets really real.
Like every time Yunan comes on and goes, I gotta address some shit. Like,
it's sick.
Yo, if me and you battled, right? We had like 6 weeks to prepare or whatever the fuck. And then like 3 weeks in, we both went through some shit. And then just naturally our 3rd rounds just became like, yo, I just did this and that happened. And then you said it. Like, yo, that's kind of real because it was organic about it. Like, when you're saying, yo, my 3rd's just become this whole never thing, it's like, now, why are you telling us though? Like,
yeah, so it could be, like you said, it could be a ploy, it could be pulling Soul out or anything like that. But if not, like, and I feel like Gem's the kind of person, if he says he's going to address some shit, why wouldn't he address it? Like, so,
Unless you're telling me that Jefferson Price is cheating on his wife and his baby, I'm not really that interested.
Or you're calling
that's what I mean. It's not like,
you're treacherous.
It's just like if we are looking at like a bar for bar technical thing, you would give him a round away, like, you know, it's like in that sense, in that sense you're giving the round away because those bars don't relate to anything or combat them. So it's
Is the crowd gonna be different, being as URL?
I reckon so. Because a lot of the people in the forums were talking like they didn't want to pay the price.
Man. Same people against the Battle of the Brave.
Yeah, so
there's so many more black people in the Battle of the Brave I've seen at any UK event ever in my life. So it's probably going to be the same people this weekend too.
That's racist.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of
URL's racist.
There's a lot of people that don't come out to Don't Flop events that I saw at like the 7th birthday. I remember specifically, I was like talking to some guy. I'm like, oh, who are you here to see? And he's like, I only watch URL battles. Yeah. So I'm only here to see clips. Cortez and Chilla and somebody else that was there, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I know there's hell other people that are like that. Yeah. So the crowd's gonna be a little bit different than
and it'll tap into more of the like Jump Off have like when they put on events, it's a completely different fan to what they do. They don't even have much battles on the events they do nowadays, but their audience is completely not a Don't Flop or like any other league's audience. So that's probably the market that it will be tapped into.
It's like, we used to just have like a hipster audience of people who'd seen it online and thought it was edgy. Let's turn up. I'm part of the black community. After Margaret Blizzard, the fan base became very strange.
Oh, the teachers.
It's the same way. It's the same way that fucking like Drake gentrified grime.
Yeah.
So like I went to a grime rave last year, and there was people like turning up to the most hood tracks you ever like heard. But because like gigs had featured on Drake track, you got tracks about like shotting coke and fucking stabbing people, and you got 14-year-old white girls trying to like sexy dance to it, and it, like I mean, gentrification.
You know what Rex says? If there's grass on the field.
That's me out, man.
Alright, I think it's the bottom of the second episode.
That's right, you look like you'll be 14. It's fine.
Nice.
And I won't let her go till she sniffs a packet. True shit. You be like Devo when you're out on the roadside. You get rolled in the road, get a pound to your both side. You get murked with a bath in 2009, holding a blow to your mouth with a gold pipe. I found an assault knife. Do you know what? Fuck all this shit. Your mum is a Pumba club.
Pumba club.
2009.
Oh, man said Pumba club.
2009.
Pumba club.
That's what year he's in.
Pumba from Lion King.
He held on a grime scheme for so long, went in it the most convinced, and was like, no, fuck this shit. Your mum was a Pumba club.
I feel like Pedro watched a bunch of OSHEA battles in preparation for OSHEA and thus became OSHEA in the process. Like, it's crazy.
The final form.
Yeah.
Well, fuck all this shit. Your mum is a Pumba club.
Tell him again.
He looked like he didn't know what he was saying as he was saying it. He was like, what am I saying?
He wanted to call her a pum and a bomber club and just put the two
Your mum is
together.
a Pumba club. Man, that's fuck that. Look, you look like Robbie Fowler if he was on a downer.
Shit. Look at Charlie.
The history on your browser. Me and all my boys shot flossy powder, and tonight I'm gonna come on a blouser.
Blouser. Blouser. Not a blouse.
It's
the blouse that goes into a trouser leg.
Fuck it then, you be fucking man, you be loving them. What you gonna say when a bun of tens in your mother's friend's yard?
Oh my god.
What are you going to say? We are offering bun of tens in your mother's friend's yard.
That reaction killed me though. I was like, we ain't having it.
Bun of tens
Fuck it
in
then,
your
you be
mother's
fucking
friends.
man, you be loving them. What you gonna say when a bun of tens in your mother's friend's yard?
What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Bun of tens in your mother's friend's yard.
How dare you bun of tens in my friends?
How do you know each other?
How would I even know that they was at my mum's friend's
In my mum's friend's house.
Because he bunned a tens in his mother's friend's yard.
In your mother's friend's yard. You won't say nothing because you're gay cousin, I don't play cousin, and I ain't even blazing a blunt in here, but you can't even say.
It is divulging to like pure nonsense at this point.
I feel like this is the point. The battle goes off.
Yo, we should.
It's been going on.
It's been keep it going.
It's like the end of the Young Ones when they drive off a cliff.
Tens in your mother's friend's yard.
I don't know.
You won't say nothing because you're gay cousin, I don't play cousin, and I ain't even blazing a blunt in here, but you can't even say nothing. Yo, when I've got nothing to say, you'll be running away. I'll be running a J, uppercutting your bait with a stun grenade. I punch his face in. Your mum's amazing.
How many times has he said
Holy
their mum?
shit.
I punch your face in. Your mum's is amazing.
Compliment.
Hey, listen. We should just get on drugs together.
Yeah, you already are.
I know. We should just be doing what we're doing right now.
I love that he's over the fight and everything. He's just like, we should just do drugs
I'll punch your face in. Your mum's amazing. We should do drugs together.
He doesn't care about that. He's like, you know what?
Fuck the third round and go do drugs.
We should just get on drugs together. Fuck this battle off, go to the pub together. You get hit in the booze with an umbrella. These fools when she's drunk as Stella. Yo, your mum has got a sore thumb. Yo, I've got a draw done, and your mum will get draw done. Yo,
Look how happy he is with himself.
And then we did Depend.
He was like hella excited.
Like a frat.
Double entendres. Let's go.
Alright, here we go.
You get shot with a dart gun. You can't run like you got a broken R1. It's an old school football game. You can be a foot tall mate.
That's low-key fire.
Stamped with my foot tall blades. Roller blades.
Foot tall blades.
Go home today. You can even big up Rowan Faith, but he don't like you. Yo, he smoke white too, and yo, yeah, he don't like you either.
Yo, her jaw's going as well, man. Yeah. They're both.
Leave people out the battle out.
Yo, nah, both their jaws getting married separately, bro.
Everyone, wedding ring.
Oh my god. Everything, everyone.
Nah, big up Flessy.
This is like fucking his like Magna Carta right here, man. It's just like divulging to the most insane shit in the world.
Oh shit, thank you, man.
Alright. Everything, everyone, wedding rings, everyone.
Wait, come back.
And you're
the way you started editing this?
Cutting on everyone.
Do you see the way I edited this?
Yeah, I know. I fucking
know. So let's talk about the cinematics to how this was made. So I channeled my inner Tarantino. Replay that edit.
It's so dirty.
Alright.
Some of the best work.
Everyone, wedding rings, everyone. I'll be at the Pentagon, sending myself a letter. I get it there.
Oh my god, bro.
You see how I heightened the mood?
Yeah, you're building tension.
Why are you at the Pentagon
cutting, you know?
And
also, you're
when you think about
cutting to angles that were out of focus to even heighten the tension.
Exactly. It was the ambiguity for
Why is
the audience.
Pedro, bro?
I didn't want them to feel settled on one angle. They had to feel every angle from all sides to make them feel really
Why
edgy.
is he him?
I honestly, that editing is fucking hilarious to me. I love everything.
It's
about
very
that.
Shoreditch.
It's so funny because there's parts when people start cutting battles and they do that. I'm guilty of that. I did that like in a couple like Bender battles actually with Sid Vicious, but in Shuffle and Marlowe versus Caustic and Dan, you know where Shuffle's like Dan, he's just saying Dan a bunch, but the fucking crowd like went crazy for it, and I cut like on every syllable. Did you
ever see how
it's making fun of that.
Yes.
People that cut like when there's like a fast fucking multi-scheme and people are like, okay, I got 7 different angles here. I feel like I'm editing. It's like for no reason.
I feel like we always like. I don't think like people that will understand the film stuff, but we always try to kind of parody it with the edits.
Yeah.
So even when we went over the top, sometimes it was largely to take the piss. I think like one of the best examples of actually when we were taking it serious is probably one of the Blood and the Water ones you did with Censor. I think I remember the first time being like, "Oh fuck, that's fucking crazy edit." But I think the further we went on, the dumber the battle, the stupider the edits became. Yeah. Where like. I know, what was the one where Marlowe's in the back of Shuffle and he keeps pulling the face and he does that, oh, my snake.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he fucks him over. Bro, no, like,
that was a
when you did the split screen bar. Shuffle versus Zen.
Yeah.
And he's like, 2 and 2 like a split screen. That's the most editing you guys do for a single bar and an edit. Like you guys literally turned it into a split screen for the bar.
Well, me and Frank, that was me. So like when he said it's a split screen, I split it. So it went split.
He was like, it's clean. Your battles look like 2 different battles on the
split screen.
And then
you
it comes up on the
it.
But we'd spend so long time in the YouTube studio that we'd always try and do like just different shit.
I started trying to introduce that split screen battle thing and battles for a while. Like we started doing that. We didn't really do it that much, but there's a few other battle leagues that used to do it, like Fight Club used to do the reaction cam that was like beside and stuff. Yeah.
But that adds to it, like it because it's like it's ridiculous and it's adding to the ridiculousness of the battle. So it like it's funny and it works, but it's also satire of battle rap editing.
And
that's why I fucking love that.
I think the Dan and Dan thing's brilliant too because like. Shuffle fucking hated that line. They both hated that line. They even said it on Bad Bars. It was I fucking hate that line. But they thought it just like
that quick edit though.
But you must have been like, yeah, I get what they're doing.
Yeah, I always find it funny too when people like that quick editing because it's like it's literally just fucking blending your
tricks
mind.
people into
really even focusing on the information that's being perceived. Like right here, like you're like literally cutting to shots that are out of focus.
Yes. It tricks people into thinking what they're spitting.
Yeah, but people are like, whoa, oh shit, more angles.
People see that. At the same time, I think there is a comedy that you can hold as the camera, and I do think there is a comedy that you can have. Like even how you swing the camera, or how stuff happens, like the throwing away of the cards earlier. Yeah, you following the cards but stay down, or like it's how you capture the things around. I think like in your battle with OSHEA that we filmed like the other week, there's a bit where OSHEA cusses off a member of the crowd, and the member of the crowd walks to the other side to support Danny instead of him. And instead of staying on Osh, we just pan completely over to the guy who like switches, and then later on in the battle it just works out that he's like, flawless, your girl's gorgeous, and then he walks back to O'Shea's side, so then there's another track that goes in. It's like, I think that what people don't understand about like camera work, it's often like it's not looking through your viewfinder, it's looking at the entire room. Like you like this is your, especially if you're the safety wide. Like my job in Don't Flop and my job like filming stuff is always easy because you're the safety wide. You gotta hold, you gotta feel where you move, but it's the safety wide. But it's about like being aware of everything that's outside of the camera, and really like, especially with Don't Flop, like URL, you're not gonna pick much jokes that happen outside of this. But like with like, especially with like Don't Flop, where there's so much like reactionary, or like even with King of the Dot, there's so much weird shit. And
the way it's filmed as well means you've got so much characters directly around you, so you want to feel like you're in there with the people.
Your role as main cam, or your role as a pit cameraman, should always be like, what I'm first person perspective as a man of the crowd. It's not that like it's this super polished high focus thing. You want to feel like you're a member of that pit. And like it's how you track that, it's how like you look around. And I think with like Don't Flop, especially like events like this, it lended to have like all these dumb moments, fucking like Flossie gurning, or people throwing cards on the ground, or what's happening.
My favourite one with the edit is, you know when Clips brought out the orange, and then it gets into the crowd, and it like I was able, because of all the angles, to follow the path of it getting thrown and the guy catching it and everything, like and like so many editors fun to just put together and stuff.
We just made that new Daily Spice actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, staring at fruit.
Yeah, the thing with as well with the quick edits between like what you're saying with the Dan and this and that, it's like it, even though you guys have your own like jokes with it and stuff, and I didn't even know that was like a thing that you guys do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what it. Obviously, I know. Obviously, because we all watch battle rap a lot. Like we know when something, even if it's like the Dan thing, that we know it's not actually like as good as the crowd are going.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that watch that shit, because of the cameras chopping between angles, the what's it called, the visual effects of it, people think, oh my god, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, there's so many words and so much shit fast succession.
From a filmmaker point of view, I hate to break this to you, but filming two men compete in competitive poetry is not the most exciting thing to do.
Try doing it.
You know,
how
you can said something cool about that is Joseph Kahn, the director of Bodied. He did a Q&A on Sunday night when we went and saw it, and he was like, yeah, you know, this movie, it's really just filming an argument, and that's not exciting at the end of the day. It's really hard to make talking heads exciting. And he did a lot of cool shit in that movie that I thought was done tastefully to make it more enticing. But that movie is super interesting because it's like not really any action happens throughout the whole thing. But that's battle rap is kind of like that. It's just filming talking heads, you know. So it's difficult to make it captivating.
It's exactly that.
So
I remember like you weren't, but I thought you were. So someone from URL did the Cortez Marv 1 battle as the first HD battle. Am I wrong?
Twiz. I don't know if that was the first HD battle, but that was the first battle that he used DSLRs. That anybody used a DSLR.
And then you stepped up and brought it further. I think I was the first person to use a jib.
A jib?
Like a crane jib. I think I was the first person to use that, and then URL mimicked it the year after. They
did a pan and tilt head though too.
Yeah. So I think like we were always, there was a silent. Like, obviously, it's the same as, like, now. Like, I work with other directors, and we're all close friends, but every time we try to outdo each other. It's a silent, like, we're all friendly about it. But, like, with, like, how we try to treat stuff between all the battle leagues, it was a silent, like, upstaging, where we were trying to see how we could...
Silent upstaging.
Yeah, where we were trying to see how we could push a format where like, really, like, if you're filming, like, battle rap, you've got your wide, you've got your OTS, you've got your OTS. Apart from that, there's not too much like over the shoulder. There's not too much more. just for you.
That was so Brent.
But like, so you've got your wide and you've got your two crossovers. You've got your liner 180 you can't cross. So in filmmaking, we broke the fucking shit out of it in Don't Flop. But like 180 is like something that you can never cross.
Breaks
so like generally, you can have your wide, which is your safety, and then you've got your 180. I can't cross that line. So like all I can have in terms of like filming is my wide, and then I've got a crossover from there, crossover from there. We used to do stuff with crowd that could be my fourth. I could have another one that's like on mic that's fifth, that's going down or up. But that's your general to play with. But to film two people have an argument, there isn't that much to do. So all we ever try to do is try and upstage it. And it's getting to the point where it's like, are we going to fly a drone in a club?
Yeah, I mean, it was getting pretty ridiculous.
I actually heard you recently say it's like, never show their whole body. Like,
oh yeah. There's like a lot of
weird.
There's a lot of like shots, like people, like Liam said, there's like people are just trying new things, and that's cool and all.
Play if you're trying it.
Yeah, I mean, battle rappers are not like.
You ain't trying to see their whole body.
Yeah, I'm not trying to see like Shotgun Suge's whole body. No, I think you can make him look fucking badass, but
do you remember
leave some things to imagination.
I think it was KOTD
little amount of trying to film, like once on a phone, once on a camera, like very minor stuff, so I have no idea, but I have like one idea of like trying. That's all I've got, so I'm enjoying.
Do you remember the KOTD event? And it might be in Alberta. I think it's the Low Pesci's area. But it was the first event where they used a
on the floor angle. Is that what you're thinking about?
No, they used
it. The scroll unders.
No,
that was full body
that's
shot.
Exactly what I'm referencing. The whole body.
Yeah. It was the first event that they used a glide cam. And it's like super awkward where they keep pulling up and then keep trying to do these over the top pull like steady cam shots. I mean, it was like it might have been Pigsty or Fingers first like
battle rap suffers the problem of incorporating tools just for the sake of using them. You know, it's just like, well, fuck it, let's get a fucking drone. Like, let's get a crane. It's like, why? Why do we need to see the tops of battle rappers' heads? Like, that's not important information to convey to the crowd. Really, like the safe angle, like you said, is honestly all you need at the end of the day. Well. It's just that, you know.
Actually, I think you might have beat me to the crane jib with Diz and Can.
Oh, was that was the first one? I think that was the first one. But that's what I'm saying. That angle was kind of purposeless because it was just the tops of their heads.
I like that.
And everybody always says they like it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like.
I like that angle.
I like the URL event when they had where they were going outside.
That was the pen until
I really like that.
Yeah, Twiz killed
that. The dumbest thing we did was film like a bars video, a rap at cam video with C major, and we did it on the crane.
Yeah, we used to like literally when we were doing filming Don't Flop battles. There's one thing where we like put a GoPro in the middle, to film them upwards. And we're like, let's just try it, see what happens.
Well, that
you can use any of the footage.
That stuff is cool for like an establishing shot, like switching to it like once in the whole. It's the same thing as you do in like any piece of film. You use something once.
That random one.
Keep going back to it. Keep going back to a dolly shot. Because it starts to ping pong. You're like, okay, it's like over there. Now it's over here. It confuses your brain. So as long as you use those like sparingly and like not for the whole entire battle, I think it is effective. But yeah, a lot of the times people just incorporate tools just to fucking use them.
But I like the wide angle shots or the far back shots just because you get to see the crowd reaction. I feel that's
where you get like a sense of
cut to.
Do you know the worst shot, which I'm pissed off we don't do anymore? The worst shot that we ever do is the reaction cam. So like in the two crossovers, like especially if you go URL and you've just got like the reaction cam, it was good in the hollow pat stuff, but when someone's just standing there, it's been like,
oh, you mean like it's always having?
So like, it's so hard to film the reaction cams because when you're filming and they're aware that they're being filmed and you don't get a genuine reaction and someone's reacting like crazy over there and you pan over to them and then you've like missed the main bit and then it's just so hard to capture.
That's why you need like a 70 to 200 at the back of the room or like a fucking 100 to 300 at the back of the room that you can actually just get like more candid stuff because as you say, as soon as you like they're aware they're being filmed,
it's so awkward. There's so many times I've just tried to like film reactions and people just notice that I'm just filming.
Yeah, like,
it's just like
and especially when you're like in the world of 5-minute rounds where your job is to film someone just being like
Yeah. And then you're just filming like a blank face for like 10 seconds. Like, I need to pan back to the battle because like this is happening right now, and I'm just staring at
and
then you miss the reaction. And then you go back, and then the guy starts reacting. You're like,
for real. That's funny.
You can just never know who's going to react to like.
It's true. It's hard to perceive it, man. And it's always frustrating when you miss like a moment. I hate that battle. Like it happens, and you've already missed it, and you're trying to film it. You just got like a little blurry trying to.
There's a huge moment that I missed recently, and I actually didn't miss it, but I fucking lost the footage. It's in Twerk versus Suge. At the end of Twerk's third, he jumps into the crowd. The thing is, we're not really made just to take the cameras, just put them wherever. Like, he jumped in the crowd, let's take it off this monopod gimbal. But we had a behind-the-scenes camera shooting all that. And I actually had it, and I remember going through the behind-the-scenes footage before that battle even dropped and be like, whoa, that's a fucking awesome shot. I'm totally going to use that in the actual release. So and then when it came around to edit it, I couldn't find the shot. I was like, fuck, I must have like deleted it or something, but
So do you film everything on sticks?
Huh?
You film everything on sticks?
We film it on like a monopod and a gimbal.
Okay, so it's not as reactionary to move.
Yeah, it's like you get a lot of dynamic range, but you can't just like turn it really fast.
Yeah, of course.
So
the room looked like stylus from what I saw because there was a phone camera.
Okay.
So basically, he's like done this whole like Suge does what's your life like. So like he was like, what's your life like? You'll see it when like you're walking towards the light or something. Yeah, and like everyone went crazy. It was obviously his like.
And he stage dived.
So he just instead of like diving at the stage, it was like stylus where see like where Skirms and Ark were sitting. It was like that. So he just jumped down and then sat up on it.
And people like swarmed him. They're like,
oh,
like he was like a god or something.
It looked cool as shit.
Battle rap's hilarious, bro.
Yeah,
but
that rhyme by Twerk.
That's the thing. So like battle rappers at the same time, if you're planning anything like this. Just tell the cameraman.
I mean, that was honestly kind of my fault because I didn't like cap. That was something like a happy accident, you know. Like we didn't know that was gonna crack off that hard.
Yeah.
And plus, that crowd was like one of the best crowds we've ever had in Houston.
The Blizzard stage dive.
So
losing their mind.
We didn't really get held up that much.
But yeah, let's finish this. We got like hella sidetracked.
That's why we had it.
Pedro's there too.
Alright. Everything, everyone, wedding rings, everyone. Yo, I'll be at the Pentagon, sending myself a letter, I get it there. Delaware. Yo, I'm never there, I'm never scared. This bread is here, you need to get a bed. Anyway, listen though. Yo, you're smashed out your head. He is very fucked. You need to get your belly tucked, I bet you telly shot. You need to belly flop. And tell him what? Tell him thus. Done.
Jersey. Done. Fit. Yeah. Jersey.
I need to find that cat, man.
Listen, talking about my beard, I swear, G.
I said about him being fucked by the third round because I remember being at the back like, yo, he's all over the shop, bro.
Talking about my beard, I swear, G. It's better hair than me.
Wait, what did you say? Better than me. Oh, okay, word.
G. It's better hair than me. I know Impact said that, and he's getting bodied, but more people will watch our battles, so they'll probably think that he's copied.
I don't even remember Impact said that.
It's true.
See, he did say it. Yeah. A big thing
now I can't even remember.
Saying something after someone said it, getting more reaction.
In 2 words, no one knows who the fuck you are, and Betlegs' new beard.
That is amazing. That is insane. So Betlegs used to be in Don't Flop. He used to be one of our like writers, and he'd been with this girl for the entire time. He disappeared for 2 years. Turned up with a new girlfriend. She's like, no one knows who the fuck you are. like Betlegs' new beard.
It was either at this event or the birthday that happened. Just like how did it work? There was a big event before.
It was the birthday.
Yeah, and it was at that period of time. So again, he's just like. Look, there she is. There you go. Who the fuck is a freestyle?
In my bar with Harry Baker, I said I'd suck his granddad's dick. Like, I read that. You might know that I kept that. I actually thought I'm a fucking genius. And I went ahead and kept that. In his battle with me, he rhymed raw cabbage with horseradish. Here's Pedro, you never wrote that. You never read that. I guarantee now, you don't even have a fucking clue that you said it. In a car crash with an MC, like, type of man get jabbed in the guts at the back of the bus. OSHEA, bun heads, I strangle man up like jab of the butt. Like, you probably chat to your mum like, we're a bag of the drugs.
Oh my god. You chat to your mum like you're a bag of the drugs.
That you've started to speak on beef, that I'll do with your whole lot, taking a floor, like you beat them with concrete. Like, I will run up in your house on beef and jack all your mates. You will find out it was me like 8 weeks later. Shit, it'd be like Broadchurch. Nobody watched Broadchurch. No. Listen, fucking, as far as ass kicking is going, lad, this is the worst you ever had that I'm giving him. Lad, fuck you and whatever so solid acid trap that you're living.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so good.
No,
he's got the
that you're living in.
Oh, pointless.
So many UK references
I've got
right
two
now.
pet dogs, one called Billy and one called Swain. You've got a pet dog and a hedgehog and they're both called exactly the same.
Hedgehog and a pet frog.
Shanked up, lad. I'll drive your mad around town on the fucking bang bus. She got any jewels? Well, that's bad luck. I'll have her clinging to the rings like fucking hang tough. Gladiator bars. Guess what rhymes with gladiator bars? Fuck Harry Baker's bar. Well, that's it. Listen, Pedro.
Jesus Christ! Oh my god, dude.
Gladiator bars. Fuck Harry Baker's bar.
It's picking gyros,
well, that's it. Listen, Pedro.
That's so
what
weird.
The line is.
He's hugging him.
Stop spitting in my ear, man.
Dude, he just whispered something in his ear that we'll never know what it is. Yeah. We'll never know.
Listen, we've got strange habits. I take acid and make classics.
Yes.
Fuck you all, I'm down to stick me dick in Lake Placid.
Yes.
Yeah. Fuck you, Pedro, you little bellend. I hate you. If it wasn't so gay, I'd rape you.
If it wasn't so gay.
I hit with an uppercut and say...
Is Danny taking the shit or something?
No, it's not. This thing's he phased out at the end.
Dude, him whispering in his ear and then just starting another thing. Like, let's pretend that never happened. Move on.
That's so much more real than 99% of battle rap. It's like, it's a complete lack of care.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
God.
Like,
I don't care.
No, I want to know what he was saying.
I would love to
I want to know what he was saying.
But the thing is, he was tripping his
He's
ass.
probably saying,
He's like,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, he's like, please just go down on the third. I'm so fucked up right now. Where am I?
Are you seeing colours?
Oh my god.
Are you aware that my legs
I'm not sure if you're aware about this, but we're in a rap battle right now. There's like 200 people in the room.
7 to the 8.
Oh yes, let's go.
Full on fucking superhand.
5, 6, 7 to the 8. When he's around, someone's daughter's getting raped.
Wow.
Yo, you need a battery pack. You're as fucking fat as can be. I batter your niece. I'm like Harry Houdini when he vanished, he magically vanished off the streets or something like that.
Or something like that.
You can't even spit something like that. You're nothing like that. I'll cut his white back and I'll cut his wife back. You better cut back or cut crap. You must
didn't cut again.
You better duck back in a
mustache.
You get your mustache. Yo, you like mustache.
Geek reference.
You were right though, it really fell off.
Who's that?
Heavy.
I've got a new map on Call of Duty.
That's made the edit seem like it's there.
I've got a new map on Call of Duty. Which one?
You're a new news spreader. You got a fucking black V-neck. You're a crack reject.
Crack reject.
You can slap to death. You're hermaphrodite with a massive neck. I stab your wife, she'll get shagged to death. For no reason. Smoke season in the Caribbean, like I said to P Soldier. I'm a cold demon, controlling everything. I own a wedding ring for my future wife. I bruise your wife.
That's beautiful.
Oh, the wedding ring.
That's poetic as fuck.
I own a wedding ring
for my future wife.
I think this is kind of a downer because I think like in first round it was potentially the best like battle of
had the most potential.
And like by this point it is like Timmy versus Jimmy.
I like that. It gets gassed for hella fast and then just divulges to chaos, man. It gets crazy.
If this was a one rounder, it would be the best one rounder.
But I like seeing what they have to do. Like, when the battle's already going well, like now they're just like thrown in the shit and they got no bars left. It's like they're just like seeing where it takes them.
Yeah, for sure.
I would never, listen, for my future wife, you'll lose your life. You'll lose your limbs, removing rings. I pretend that I come to remove the bins.
I pretend that I came to remove the bins.
He comes in like a dustbin in an outfit. Like,
yeah, exactly. I got
to remove the bins.
He's holding on to the back of that truck, like. Just dives off.
He just jumps to the back of a random, like.
Taking your fucking life.
Big Mac, knife in a chip pan, mind of a chimpan, knife in his rib fam.
I like that.
Big man, fire in a tin can, get thrown away inside of a pig van. See, I still got it. Yo, I still got it.
You see, he knew the first half was trash.
I still got it. I'm still here.
I still got it.
The pig van. See, I still got it. Yo, look at your hand, your ring ain't still on it. It ain't on your finger, your mum's a singer. Your dad, you wish that he wasn't ginger, but he was. Your mum, she's bunning blunts and my mum's yard, they're quite cool. I took you off the Eiffel, man. Yeah, I'm a good man, you're a good man, I like you, fam. We should run a zoo after this. We will.
Full agreement of just
after this. Real rap. I don't even want to beat you because I don't want to make you feel whack because you already feel fat. Hey, listen, he had 3 pints in one hand earlier and they were all his. You got a big forehead and you got 4 lips. Yo, when you spit, wow, fam. You go to Poundland. Yo, you got vouchers from Tesco's that you save and shop. You think you can save a lot. Yo, you can't even make a lot. Get the pound, spin it, make it drop. What are you going to say when I blaze a rock? I come to your neighbour's block.
What are you going to say?
Yes.
What are you going to say?
Yes. When I do crack, what you gonna say? Fuck yeah. Pedro is.
You had 3 pints earlier in one hand.
Yeah, he's like, you save money, I do crack.
Make a lot. Get the pound, spin it, make it drop. What are you gonna say when I blaze a rock? I come to your neighbour's block and I raid the drop. Alright, it's that kind of fuck. But I slit your wifey's gut, she get kidnapped inside a pikey truck. A pikey van, Chinese man. What did he say? Fucking Irish ham or something. I find your nan inside of my yard. He bought this shit from Primark. He'd be under the water like a lifeguard. I'd be there with my knife sharp. Right, I'm gonna spit one more bar.
One more. Not even a rhyme.
Just to let you know.
One singular bar.
This is my favourite bar.
Water like a lifeguard. I'd be there with my knife sharp. Right, I'm gonna spit one more bar. Yo, I go door by door, flooring margins.
Door by door, flooring margins.
What that means? Flooring margins. So like your margins, your mum.
Like a mum. UK word for mum.
Yeah. So the literal translation of that line is I'm going to knock on every single door on a street and I'm going to punch people's mums.
Everyone's mum.
Excuse me, are you a mum? Yeah?
Door by door, flooring margins.
Alright.
That's the last bar.
Emoji.
He's the fucking truth.
I go door to door, flooring margins, bro.
Alright. We made it. We did it, Pedro. Thank you guys. Alright, I'm gonna cut it.